tied their series with the Thunder last night with a 102-95 win in OKC. Donovan Mitchell led everybody with 28 points. The Thunder had the lead going into the fourth quarter, but their big three of Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony missed every shot they took in the fourth, combining to go 0 for 14. Shannon, what does this game tell you?
This is why I can't have any trust, and no one should have any trust in OKC, Skip. The two just inconsistent. Their big three went, what was that, 13, so 19 of 58. Skip, you can't win like that. Paul George had 18 points, but he took him 21 shots. Russell had 19 points on 19 shots. Melo had 17 points on 18 shots. Skip, they have to play well. At least one of them needs to play very well if the other two are struggling. But when all three struggle, you can't win. And then they get the balance scoring Rubio, 5 of 8. Now, what's the likelihood of him doing that again?
A lot. He's been doing.
Oh,
it
you
all
like
year. You haven't watched.
You like Rubio?
I don't like him, but he's been doing it all year. He's been playing at a high level.
Skip, he shot a career.
You keep taking shots at him, and he makes a lot of shots.
Skip, he shot a career high 35%. You say LeBron James is a terrible three-point shooter, and he shot 36.4%. So what am I missing?
Did you see what this team did over the last 40 games of the year? And it was led by Ricky Rubio, the point guard.
Well, Ricky Rubio should be Rookie of the Year then. Because you keep telling me Donovan Mitchell that guy, and now all of a sudden Ricky Rubio's the guy.
No, he runs the show, and he makes shots. He's been playing really well.
Oh, well, I missed that part that Donovan Mitchell going 13 points in the fourth quarter, outscoring the big three by himself. But okay, I digress. You say that's the reason why, so be it. But Derek Favors did not show up in game one. He showed up huge in game two. Ricky Rubio was awful shooting the basketball in game one. He played a consistent ball game in game two. When you get that kind of balanced scoring and OKC is going to do this, Skip, you know you and okay, granted, Utah played well over the last 40 games. You supposed to be Houston Rockets like this? You're going to be Golden State like this? No, come on, Skip. You know better than that. They've been inconsistent all year long. There's a reason why they win 10 out of 12, and then they'll lose 12 out of 16. There's a reason why. The inconsistency is that what I see. Big Steven Adams fouled out last night, but only 9.7 rebounds. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. And, look, Russell is, he plays hard. What them shooting numbers tell you, Skip?
Yeah. Tell me when you're finished.
I'm done.
Not once this year was I as disappointed in the Thunder as I was last night, but only in the fourth quarter. This team has played up and down to levels of competition, but when it plays up, it really plays up. It can play up to Golden State. It wiped out Golden State twice. It beat Houston. I can go on and on. They had games in which they went to Cleveland. I know LeBron was struggling at that point, and they'll throw 148 at you.
Which is the season high for the year, I think.
It was. They went on a 19-0 run in the third quarter, and they look like a potential NBA champ.
Yes.
And then they took their foot a little bit off the gas late in the third quarter, and then this thing happened. And the new sidekick, the new Victor Oladipo, who I've said is a little better as a sidekick than Victor Oladipo, George Paul. And I'm going to call him George Paul.
Man, the man just dropped 36 2 days ago.
But he turned back into George Paul last night because at the end of the third quarter and through the fourth quarter, do you realize he missed his last 9 3-point shots? He went 0 for 9, late third, all the way through the fourth. Help me out. What's going to happen, Shannon?
You're going to lose.
If your second best player goes 0 for 9?
Oh, you're going to lose.
Oh. Which brings me to the third best player. I have defended Carmelo Anthony for years on national television because he can score the basketball, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've also defended him because I have witnessed Carmelo Anthony make a lot of big, what I would call clutch shots.
Yeah.
Not for big moments for great teams.
Not a whole lot of playoff moments, but in the regular season.
He will make big shots.
Absolutely.
And last night down the stretch, Russell Westbrook made 3 big mistakes. He said, "Here, Melo, you do it." And he gave him the ball 3 times in late game situations. And if we could see him in a row, these are all passes from Russ to Melo. Here's the first one on a trail, and he goes up and he clangs it. And now we're getting late in the game, and here it comes, and swing. Oh, Russ kicked it right over to Melo, and it clanged off the back iron. And this is the killer. This is one to cut it to a one-point game, and way short. And that was the one, look at Russell slam the ball on the baseline and then throw it to the official out at the top of the circle. He was furious because he thought on that one when he kicked it back to Melo because his dribble got stopped, he thought Melo would give it back to Russ and let Russ take the big shot at that point. So there are 3 straight shots where clutch Melo was extremely unclutch. And those are 3 shots that get you to within 1 point. So to me, Russ had 4 assists in the fourth quarter, and guess who had 3 of them? Steven Adams. He has a real good rapport with Steven Adams. As you know, the reason Russ can average a triple-double in large part is he has good rapport with that big guy.
He gets 4 a night to Steven Adams.
Just leave it for him. Drop it off to him. And Steven Adams, as you know, is a highly skilled 7-foot man, and he's going to make shots around the rim.
Correct.
Steven Adams, as you point out, fouled out with 2:48 left, and I think that just pretty much ended the Oklahoma City Thunder as we knew and loved them in this game. I'm not talking about for the series. But they missed 12 of their last 13 three-point shots. What's going to happen, Shannon? You're going to lose.
You're going to lose.
And just before I get to Russ, let me say, I've been just beating the drum over here for Donovan Mitchell. I got to tell you, he is a young terror in this league.
He's special.
He's got Russell Westbrook in him. He has extreme, supreme athleticism when he attacks the rim, and he attacks it with abandon, man. He is just going at it. And he's going to make shots that you'll just say, that's just too good, man. You're just too good. Yeah. And he's a team guy. If you could have, for those who out in viewerland who sat and watched late NBA TV where they had all 4 of those guys, including Ricky Rubio, all the 4 stars for the Utah Jazz sat at the podium with Donovan and the Mitchell sort of presiding over it. And the quote from Quinn Snyder is always, the strength of our team is our team. So they are team first, and Donovan is team first. He has high character, great intangibles. He's not a solo act. He believes in his brothers, and it was a joy to watch him play, even though, obviously, I was rooting for the Thunder. But as you point out, he didn't make a three-point shot. He went 0 for 7 from 3, but did he not take over the fourth quarter?
Yeah, he did.
When the Thunder said, we don't want it, Donovan said, okay, I'll take it.
Skip. When the home team, Utah had been winning basically the entire game because they started the game with a 9-0 run.
They did.
And then here come OKC to match it with their own 9-0 run. And then
19-0. And
then PG hit a 3, got a 4-point play. So the game is getting, and Utah's doing well. And then at the end, like the third, they go on this 19-0 run. Skip, that normally a young team like this, it would wipe them out.
It would.
But for them to remain composed in that hostile environment and says we're not going away, and to win the game how they won it in that fashion, OKC got problems on their hands. Now, granted, they have the exact same record, 48-48. So this 4-5 matchup is not that big of a difference.
Nope.
Just in names, Oklahoma City has the big names. They got the Russ, they got the PGs, they got the Carmelos.
Well, Utah's about to have a big name if they don't already.
But they don't have,
they
to do this without Gordon Hayward, who was their best player. They also lost George Hill. Now, Rubio is playing better than George Hill played for him last year.
I agree.
They lost Joe Johnson off their bench, who gave him quality.
Don't forget about your guy, I'm So Hood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they lost. And then I see Jay Crowder out there still.
He's still out there.
Messing up.
He's out there messing up.
Minus 14.
So, now back to my Oklahoma City Thunder and my identity crisis. This game told me once again, once and for all, it's Russ or bust in the fourth quarter. I think he can't be a point guard in the fourth quarter. I think if they're going to be the team I think that they should be in these tight games, Russ just has to basically say, I'm sorry, get out of my way, I got this. And either he's going to have it or he's not going to have it. Because look at these numbers in this fourth quarter. Is this not horrendous? Paul George is 0 for 6, Melo's 0 for 4, and Russ was 0 for 4. Well, usually if Russ will shoot 8 shots in the fourth quarter, he's going to make some shots. They went 1 for 10 from 3, and those big 3 made no three-point shots. But Russ had the 4 assists, but if you just let him be ball dominant and just take it over, what if the two don't go along for the ride? What if they just watch? I think that Russ could have got this game home.
Well, Skip, if you look at it, you look at Utah, they shot 15 more free throws. So somebody's going to the basket and somebody's settling for jumpers. It's hard. I mean, you can't get outshot by 15 on your home court, Skip. And not only did they get outshot by 15, they shot less than 70% from the foul line. Now, Utah could have made this game, could have made it moot because they shot less than 70% from the foul line. But
all that matters is the fourth quarter. Just remember, Oklahoma City's up 5 at home going to the fourth quarter, and that happens.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Okay, you say you want Russ to be more ball dominant.
Just take the game. Just say it's my game.
How many times have you seen him shoot them out of the ball game, Skip? How many more times do you need to see it?
I've seen him win a bunch of them.
We just talked about this the other night, like in the regular season, where he missed his last 7 shots, and 3 of them were air balls. And you came in here livid. Now you want him to do this.
I've seen him win a bunch of them.
Yes, yes.
He's made a bunch of big late clutch shots, too.
Shooting is not what he does. Now, if he can get into the lane, now he's streaky. Now, he get hot.
You know what he does? He just wills the ball in the basket. He does. And this was, I'm going to distribute. It's like LeBron's identity crisis. Who am I? Am I the distributor, or am I just a flat-out selfish scorer? And LeBron's never quite sure which way do you want? I'll be a little bit of both.
Well, here's the thing. The one thing that Russ has on him, in his favor, the 2 guys that are in the starting lineups have been number 1s before.
They have.
Only Kevin Love has ever been a true number 1. So everybody else has been role players. And when your role players know their role but don't do their role, that's when you run into problems. Skip, they're trying to make Paul George and Carmelo basically high-end role players. And it's hard when you've been the guy, because guess what? Paul George in Indiana was Russell Westbrook. Carmelo Anthony's been, I'm not saying Skip with the skill set, but I'm saying he was the guy that was getting the major shots. Yep. Carmelo Anthony, for the first time in 14 years, Skip, he's the 3rd best player on his team. He might be 4th. Steven Adams might be better here. So, but that's the first time.
I would agree with that. I think Steven Adams is better than Carmelo right now.
So he might
more valuable.
This is the first time that he's not getting the majority of the shots, and he's having to get deferred. He's the defer guy. So if Russ doesn't do it, PG don't do it. Okay, Melo, your turn. And it's hard for them to get in the roles like that, Skip. This is a problem for them. It's going to be a problem. First of all, Utah is really the problem because they're long and they play at a pace, Skip. They don't give you a whole lot of second chances. And Big Rudy Gobert, he blocking out the sun.
He does.
Derek Favors long.
Derek Favors plays hard.
Yes.
He's like Clint Capella. He plays that hard.
Yes.
So now the hole has been dug, and if the Thunder are going to be the team I think they can be, they have to go to Utah and win one of these games.
Got to.
Because you can't come back 3-1 now.
Yeah, I don't believe you can be 3-1 and then win the next 3.
Russ, you're on.
I mean,
solo out.
I know a guy who's done that. I know a guy that's been down 3-1.
Because
hold on, Skip, let me finish.
Wait, the guts and glue guy and the other team got suspended?
See,
calling that guy the B word?
You know what, Skip Bayless? You're the type of guy that go see a movie and then you go see the movie again and then try to tell everybody what's going on. Let me tell the story. All I'm saying.
I would sit in the theater and turn around and say, hey, watch this.
You tell Ernestine, watch this.
Well, she would have watched it with me the first time.
No, she's like, Skip. Probably, Skip. But I know a guy that was down 3-1 in a situation that's never been done before.
Really?
Yeah, man. Skip.
Oh, I know. Kyrie Irving.
Don't do that,
Is that who we're talking about?
Don't do that. Hold on. All I know is the Boston Celtics are up 2-0 without the best player. Let me ask you a question. Where would Cleveland be if LeBron James was not playing? Do you think they would be 1-1?
I don't know. Maybe Boston's got a much better coach than you do. Maybe Brad Stevens is a much better coach than LeBron James. Have you thought of that?
Maybe Boston Celtics have a better team. Team. But you ain't got no answer for that whole 2-3.
Next up, Joel Embiid is listed as doubtful for tonight's Game 3 in Miami.